Hey guys, so I've been wanting to do this video for quite a while now, and after some time of writing and gathering all the details, we're going to talk about Nemesis and why it's so dangerous. So first off, let's discuss about what Nemesis actually is. Now, Tilda tells us at the end of the game that Nemesis was a project for the zeniths to be able to transfer their minds into the digital plane and even the organic plane as well. This is important, but I'll talk about it later. However, the project was considered a failure, though we don't know why that is, and was essentially just left to rot. However, unbeknownst to the zeniths, those minds were actually very active, and after decades, they were able to merge together and escape and destroy the zenith colony, as Tilda tells us. I don't think she was lying on that regard. As like Sylens, she tells a lot of half-truths. Now, a big misconception that I've been seeing a lot, and I've seen a lot of people discussing as well, is how the hell are we going to beat Nemesis if it destroyed the zenith in less than a day? How is Aloy going to fight them? It doesn't make sense. First of all, we don't know how many zenith minds are in Nemesis, but that's not the issue. Since it was copies of the minds of the zeniths, it had access to all of their informations, including plans, security, codes, all of that. So it could move essentially one step ahead of every move that the zeniths were going to make, because it's essentially them. And that's what Tilda tells us. So that's why it had this massive advantage, as it knew what they were going to do before they actually did it. So it could destroy them very easily using their own weapons. Which is why, when it gets to Earth, it won't have that advantage. So Aloy will have sort of an advantage-ish, if you can call it that. Now, one of the bigger questions arises from what Tilda tells us as well is, why was Nemesis considered a failure? Because that's not really answered. Like, obviously we know it's powerful, but we don't actually know why it was really considered a failure. Was it because it didn't complete all of the needs that the zeniths wanted it to complete, such as transferring their minds into organics as well? Or was it something else? Now, in my opinion, the reason why it was considered a failure was because it didn't transfer consciousness. Now, a good example of what I mean by this is if you saw the show Invincible, spoilers, you know the character Robot and the twins, they have this whole concept of being able to transfer their mind into a clone. However, the clone doesn't have the consciousness of the other person, so it thinks it's the other person, and they don't know which one is the clone. So we could have this situation where the consciousness isn't actually transferred, but just the memory is and thoughts and everything else. So the AI that's being created essentially thinks it's them. Now, this could lead to some interesting dynamics in the next game, as we don't know whose minds of the zeniths were transferred, whether it was all of them, whether it was some of them. So we could see a return of some of the zeniths we saw in the game, and we could see a return of Tilda as well, which could be an interesting dynamic, I think. Moving on to the next discussion topic, why is Nemesis so dangerous? Now, stating the obvious, obviously we know it's very dangerous, as it was able to destroy the zenith colony super easily, so we know it's very smart and it's ruthless. It's able to create a machine army, as it has access to all of the zenith technology, and it's able to hack other machines. But something I haven't seen any other YouTubers mention, or anybody that's in the Horizon topic mention, it's that Nemesis, like Tilda says, could also transfer its consciousness into organics as well, so which means humans. So that could be a super interesting dynamic to see as well in the next game, as we could see potential allies being corrupted, like we saw machines being corrupted in the first game and in this game, but except they'll be corrupted toward and have Nemesis's mind instead. Now, I do hope if they do decide to do this, that Aloy isn't corrupted, as I think that would be kind of dumb, but it could be interesting to see characters like maybe Beta or Cortalo or even some of our close allies, one of them being corrupted, and then we have to save him during the game, in the next game. That would be something interesting to see, I think. Now, the other question that arises is, how the hell are we going to fight that thing? Now, I think the answer is quite easy, to be honest. I think Hephaestus and Vast Silver are going to be the answer. I think Aloy and the group will have to recover Hephaestus in order for Gaia to create enough machines and get control of machines as well to fight Nemesis's machines as well. On the other hand, I think Vast Silver will be the opposite. I think we'll have to use Vast Silver in order to essentially hack Nemesis and destroy it from within. I think these are potentially the two options. Maybe something might get introduced in the DLC. Who knows? We'll have to see. Now the next question is, why the hell does Nemesis want to kill the Zenith in the first place? Now I think there are several reasons for this. One is obviously it was left to rot and it had years to culminate and build a hatred towards the Zeniths. But also I think it comes from what I said earlier in terms of the consciousness not transferring, that Nemesis actually believing it's the Zeniths themselves. And considering how snobs and terrible humans they are, I would assume that they wouldn't want two of them to exist. So I think it's just the question of just eliminating the original copy in a sense. I think that's why Nemesis wants to kill them. There might be other reasons. I mean, we've never seen the face of the CEO. It was purposely hidden from us, of the Zeniths. That could be one thing, but we won't have the answers until the next game or the DLC. Anyway, that's the end of the video. Please feel free to write a comment and tell me what you thought of the video and what you thought of the theories. Maybe you agree with me, maybe you don't. Please feel free to discuss it in the comments. Also, something I've been noticing is there's been a lot of spam comments in my comment sections. Please report them if you see any. And also, something I've never asked anything of the community so far, but please feel free to share this video if you feel like it was good and you like the theories, so more people can discuss it. And do drop a like, as like this the video will be more noticeable in the YouTube algorithm, so more people can notice it as well, so there's more of a discussion. And yeah, that's about it. I hope you enjoyed.